There we go. For some reason, the automatic feature on here is not working. It's supposed to, when it plays that clip, it's supposed to automatically switch back. So, what's
Yeah.
going on, everybody? What's going on?
Hey,
We are having our summer vision. Whoa, I completely screwed all that up. Uh, welcome to this week's summer vision. This is the final cut. I'm Mike and John, and I'm
hello.
John, and that is Mike.
Hello.
So,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Oh, not much, man. Just trying to stay cool. Just
Yeah,
being
that's the
busy.
same way. Even these cooler days have been humid. Well, we got that rain. I guess, did you guys get much rain?
Yeah, it rained a good little bit the other day, and it rained for about 10 minutes about an hour ago here, and it quit. So,
Yeah, yeah, just enough to make it super humid when it gets hot. It's not really
yeah,
going to be very really that cool. I mean, a couple of days I think may go in the low 80s,
yeah, yeah. It's
but
just,
since we're talking about summer weather, our summer vision selection this week is going to be it's essentially going to be Independence Day, but we're going to talk about resurgence again. I want to say resurrection every time, but resurgence, which uh, I think me and Mike agree. It's a fun movie. It's not perfect, but I have a feeling. I'll just get this out of the way while I'm thinking about it. I have a kind of a feeling that there's a script floating out there. I've never. There's probably 1,000 videos on this subject. I just never have done researched them or looked up any articles. But I would say there's a script floating around with Will Smith in the movie because I think he turned it down. So that means there probably was some kind of working script, maybe not a finished script, but some kind of working script that he's seen and either decided to turn down the role or he may have had another project or something going on. But he
yeah,
did turn down he didn't turn down the role. So I bet the movie kind of feels like it's like it was like re-sculpted from something else.
hmm
It feels like there should be maybe another storyline in there, or replacing different storylines, and you can kind of tell where they kind of did a patchwork job on the script. Whenever he turned the role down, and they had to basically change the movie.
yeah. That's a good possibility. I mean, they got some of the other cast back. They got Bill Pullman as a president, and then they got I
Yeah,
think Vivica Fox. I think she shows up for a little bit, and then she gets
yeah,
killed off pretty soon, and then
yeah. Jeff Goldblum's in it quite a bit,
yeah, Jeff Goldblum. So maybe
and Judd Hirsch came back, and
oh yeah, yeah.
he's God. He seems old in the first movie.
I know
You
that was
know,
weird. Like all of a sudden he showed up, and I was like, oh man, he came
yeah,
back for it. I was like, I was shocked. I know. I told my wife, I was like, and he looks just the same. Like he didn't
yeah,
age any or anything all that
yeah,
time. So, but
yeah,
but yeah, it seems like maybe it's missing Will Smith a little bit. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I think you're onto something. I think they kind of redid it, like you said, and
Hmm.
kind of worked around him. And they added the younger guys in there to be the
Yeah.
pilots that go up there. But they didn't seem to be in it as much as Will Smith was
I
in the
think.
old one.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of part of the plot, but I feel like maybe that storyline could be what replaced the Will Smith storyline. Maybe there was because it feels I don't- well, I don't know. I guess it's fairly necessary. I was trying to think, it just feels like it's maybe some of the impact of that storyline doesn't it doesn't make sense, but I guess it kind of ties together because they do their mission. They kind of I like that storyline with the younger kids though. I do like that. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying
No,
some of the parts feel like some of the different parts feel kind of sandwiched in there, or kind of
yeah,
they just don't feel as natural as. So that's always been my theory with Resurgence. It's just
yeah,
because I guarantee
yeah,
there is a script out there, but
yeah. I mean, maybe it was a money issue. Maybe they just couldn't agree on a. You
yeah,
know, they wanted to get it out,
yeah,
and they just couldn't agree on it because it came out in 2016. Didn't it? Like the 20th anniversary
yeah,
or
I think
something like
so.
that.
Yeah,
So maybe it came down to the wire, and they couldn't agree on something, and they just kind of redid it
yeah,
or worked around
yeah,
it. Because
yeah. The
that's something
movie,
we do on TV a lot, you know, TV shows.
yeah, but I don't know where to start with Independence Day. I guess a good story would be I remember. Did it come out in '96? It came out in '96, correct? You just
Yeah,
said that '96, and I remember that would have been I think between my junior and senior year of high school. That summer is when it came out, and I remember, me and my friends, we all were like really hyped about seeing it. We really wanted to go see it. I remember, and then we went and seen it, and I remember being like just supercharged after the movie. Just
yeah,
real excited and everything. Talking about it, and it still holds up. It's after watching it again,
hmm
it's still a really fun movie, and it's pretty well done for the most part. Some of the
yeah, yeah,
it doesn't have a lot of flaws. That well, it does, but it's just. I mean, I might go through some picky things, but they're just kind of funny
yeah.
things
They're
that
they're all in good fun, so you know
Yeah.
they're all you can have a good time with it because essentially you got a disaster movie slash sci-fi
Mm-hmm.
movie in one, and then you got the big action blockbuster. So it's yeah it's uh, I mean it's revved at all. I mean it's just revved up in all departments. And so it's a
Yeah.
lot of fun, and the director, I mean he's really good at that. I mean he's really good at making those huge disaster type movies. He's good at it. So I thought it was good though. I mean, the first one when it came out, I was 20 when it came out,
Yeah.
in 26. So uh, I don't know. I think I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it later on, like when it came on video and stuff. But that would have been a good movie in the theater. I should have been, but I don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great movie. Though. It's a
Yeah. I
great
love
block.
them. Yeah. It was really it was just something different. But yeah, but like you were saying about being a mixture of the disaster movie and I guess a sci-fi, it was definitely that. I enjoy the I don't know. I enjoy the disaster movies from the '90s. I don't know why. I just
Mm,
some of them are really some of them are really bad and some of them are really good. I think Dante's Peak's one of the best, and
mm,
I think it's going back and watching like the special features on Dante's Peak makes you really made me really like kind of respect it a little more because the guy who directed it, he was actually he had been a volcanologist, I believe, before, or a geologist, but he knew a lot about volcanology, so he actually knew the lingo when writing the script to put in the movie. So there's what they're talking about is fairly accurate to
mhm.
volcanology. So it's on that part of it, it's like very precise and a very well written script. So, and the
Yeah,
special effects are pretty good in too, because I think pretty much all of it is practical. It was models. They built a lot of very detailed models, and it was really really cool.
yeah,
Well, excuse me, the Dante's Peak, the mountain itself, the volcano itself was all CG. I'm sorry, it was CG. They completely built the mountain onto a landscape, and it wasn't even real. So that was pretty impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, it was that time period right between before everything went to all CG like it is now. So,
Yeah.
like you said, there's a lot of practical stuff, and that was a good time period for disaster movies. But all the way
Yeah.
into the beginning part of the 2000s, we got a lot of good um, either monster type movies with Anaconda or Sharks or Lake Placid, and then we had the disaster type natural disaster movies and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
good movies out that time.
Yeah.
I think everybody's looking forward to the millennium or something, and the end of the world. You know, there's a lot of times, a lot of people are
Yeah.
like, it's going to end. And so I think there was a
Yeah.
lot
Huh.
of doomsday flavored stuff, you know, maybe. And maybe that has
Yeah.
something, you know.
Yeah. It seems. Yeah, there was a lot of. I remember also in the '90s, the mid to late '90s. I guess there was. I guess it was around. I guess it had to be like the 25th anniversary of the moon landing because there was a lot of space. NASA themed stuff. Like Apollo 13, and then From the Earth to the Moon on HBO, and just
Mm-hmm.
and there were some other movies that had involved the space program. Like all those movies. Like oh, which one's
Well,
Bruce? What's the disaster with Bruce Willis?
Armageddon.
Armageddon. Armageddon to Deep Impact. Like those two movies. Like that's the funniest two movies. I'm sorry we're talking about disaster movies, but I've been
It,
wanting to talk about this, but
yeah, it
but the
all ties
disaster,
together.
yeah, the disaster, but those two movies, like the scripts, or they had, I don't know if it was like a bet or something. Like they said, here's just give the same script to two different directors, and it's like, here, you make a movie from this, and you make a movie for this, because those movies are like very close together. They're very similar, and they came out at like a almost a similar date. Like they came out almost at the same time, or maybe the same day, or something crazy like that. And
Hmm. Yeah.
you have Armageddon, which is just like over the top version of it. It's like way over the top,
Oh, yeah.
um, and everything in that movie, like all the, you see what you see in that movie is basically what you get for Michael Bay when you can almost translate like the camera movements he uses, and like the way the actors are, that erratic acting style. Like he literally takes George Lucas, his directing, his direction seriously. Like the actors used to say, he said, "What do you want us to do, George?" And he said, "Just fast and what would he say? Fast and more intense." He would say, just
Yeah.
faster and more intense. So
Yeah.
I feel like Michael Bay takes that personally. He takes that philosophy personally, and like
Mhm.
his dialogue is like really rushed, and it's like he don't. I mean, it's kind of fun. It's kind of almost to become his style. It's almost, you'd say he's like almost a B movie director,
Mhm.
really, who's making super high budgeted movies,
Yeah.
and like it's almost like, but but the special effects are just through the roof, though. They're actually, and he's a big fan, I think, of a lot of mixture between practical and special effects. He tries to get as much as he can practical. Like on Ambulance, the new movie that just came out, Ambulance.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like like the acting's really good in that, really decent in that movie, and it's and it's all practical. It's basically a car chase movie with an ambulance, so it's just
Mhm.
through L.A. basically. So it's actually a really fun movie. I highly recommend that one. Sorry we got all the way
Yeah.
to
I'm
Ambulance and
I'm still
talking
trying to
about
get around to see that one, but
yeah,
I know what you mean. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
he's a younger director, and he takes it like that. And like, yeah, like that point you made, a B director with a huge budget. You know, he's got that
yeah,
spirit of the B movie, like fast and loose and tight. You know, but
yeah,
also he's able to have that budget and also go a little bit with it. So it's hard to describe. He's not a hack director. You know what I mean? He
yeah,
does have he
yeah.
has a style to him and stuff.
hmm
And
Yeah, because Ambulance, like the acting's good. It's usually his human elements of his movies, especially like the Transformers and what else did he direct? That
So
Well, other than Armageddon's the same way. It's just like you got these pretty decent actors in there, and they're just giving like horrible performances like throughout the movie. But he's also part of Michael Bay's also part of like my conspiracy. I just think he's kind of a shill for because you ever notice like the access he gets to like military technology and stuff in his movies.
mhm.
It's like and Roland Emmerich was kind of like that for a while. You get a little bit of insight in Independence Day with this same kind of insight. Now there was a rumor that went back when we were kids, so it was probably not true. This is basically the dawn of the internet that we know in '96. So, any kids listening wouldn't understand that. Like, to get it, even getting information then, it's still a lot word of mouth. So, I remember hearing a rumor that like they had a cooperation from the government in making Independence Day until they wanted to they were adding all the stuff about Area 51 in there. And then they like kind of backed out and was like, we're not going to help you guys.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
he also didn't he make The Rock and
Mm-hmm.
The Rock and what's the other movie I'm thinking of? Did he do what's the one Con Air? Did he do Con Air?
Yeah.
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 Okay. Yeah,
So those
because
are great movies. Yeah.
yeah, there was one. I remember an interview with him where he was talking about during The Rock, where he was talking about the access that he had to military stuff and
Yeah.
to the Alcatraz and everything. Because he was talking about that. He was like, "Man, I must have been." He was talking about he was young and he had all this access to all this stuff, and they were
Yeah.
opening doors to him. And so, yeah, that's really true. I mean, yeah, but yeah, I don't know. He makes a certain kind of movie that I mean, I don't know. It's different. They're crowd pleasers. So they're like the spirit of B movies, like back in the day, like in the 50s. Um,
Yeah.
but yet, on that budget, it's hard to, I don't know, it's hard to describe it and make sense of it. Yeah, I know I know what you're talking about though, with the whole,
Yeah.
I've tried to figure him out before, Michael Bay in a nutshell, and it's hard to do sometimes.
Yeah.
But,
But
yeah.
but Independence Day, I guess. Yeah, I was earlier when I was watching it. I was kind of picking things apart, and I should have wrote them down so I could remember everything I was thinking about. But I do remember the part where a lot of movies when the story's not really good and they're kind of things just coincidentally happen on purpose. If they're just plot devices to move the story along, basically.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I think it's funny, like Vivica A. Fox, her character is she's so concerned about she's really concerned about the spaceship and everything being there, and she wants to. He says, "Well, just come to the base with me. Just come to the base later on." But I would have been like, we're just gonna go with you because fuck, there's a big spaceship there. Fuck going to work. Which
Yeah.
then it cuts to her at work and she's a stripper, and
Mhm.
so she basically just she instead of acting in her best interest to say, oh, I've got to go make a few extra bucks before I leave, I guess so I
Yeah.
conveniently am there whenever the blast goes off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
She leaves
Yeah.
and then there's the whole part of her like really taking care of the first lady, like the whole time, like basically
Yeah.
staying with her and basically saves her, I guess, brings her, she
Yeah.
gets in that truck and gets out of there before it all blows up and everything. And so
Yeah.
some of it's kind of, it's kind of craziness, it's like, she's like more than just an average stripper, she's,
Yeah.
pretty tough, but, But yeah, there's some scenes in it that's kind of like you have to kind of throw out the whole, what's the word here? Throw out all like logic. You throw
Yeah.
logic out the window and have fun with it, because some
Yeah.
scenes are just,
Yeah.
but
Well,
they're fun though.
well, I guess it's you probably understand it, but when you watch as many movies as we do, Mike watches a lot more. I've been bad here lately. I haven't been watching as many as I should be, but when you watch enough and just I guess in a certain kind of mindsets, I tend to want to start picking things like that apart in movies. It's just kind of fun, even though some people may think it's absurd and think like it is annoying as well, but it's fun also to talk about little beats, little things. It's like the new Thor movie. It's just, which I don't know if you saw it, but you've seen our review the other night. It's just you can pick these new movies apart. That's why I like old movies because you can't pick them apart
Hmm.
as easily. Excuse me.
Yeah. Well, and nowadays we know everything about everything. Before it even comes out, we know everything. And everybody starts criticizing it before it even comes out. It's almost like you're not able to even enjoy it for the first time and see those little things and not bother you. But I don't know,
Yeah.
man. It's yeah, I agree with you. Older movies, I don't know. It's just, I mean, you know how you feel about current Hollywood and some of the just
Yeah.
ridiculous things they do and recycling and just no, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know why our generation, there's people our age who's running all this stuff now. For the most part, they're kind of getting at our age group. I don't know what went on to cause, the kind of decision. Well, I do know, but I'm not going to get into here, but obviously, but I do know, but I don't know why these people have made the decisions they have and let let the movie industry. I mean, they're going to destroy it. Or
Mm,
what I think is going to actually happen is not going to get destroyed. I think it's going to splinter up into. I think we're going to start having more independent studios throughout the country. It don't have to be in Hollywood, but we already have them a little bit. But I think it'll become even more prevalent because that's how all media's kind of went. We're losing celebrities because we have all these people who have microcosms of small groups of celebrities. So people are not they're less likely to gravitate to a movie star. I mean, there
yeah,
still are movie stars, but we're seeing the kind of the end of that era, I believe, of the movie star that we kind of grew up with.
yeah, the glamour, the Hollywood created superstar, or like because you got your YouTube superstars and your TikTok, and you got your, like you said, the little microcosms out there,
Yeah,
and those are like really has the attention of younger people nowadays, and they're less likely to turn on the television and watch something or go to the movies. They're more focused on their phone, you
yeah,
know, and stuff, and into these little worlds and stuff, and they don't know what else is going on. And then even in Hollywood, they make people like the Paris Hiltons and the Kardashians and stuff, or almost have replaced the movie star in a way.
yeah,
Yeah, of the past and stuff. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting in the next 20 years what
yeah,
it what we know is Hollywood, what will be there. If it even will be Hollywood anymore.
yeah,
It may be an afterthought. Something day gone by or something.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I
Well,
don't either.
it's like me and you, man. We can like we do. We have our own little 5 minutes of thing we create. You know, episodes and talking about something, and we have our
You know,
maybe 5 people follow us or
yeah,
200,000 people follow us. But
yeah,
anybody can do that now, and it's just
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
It's going to be very interesting, though, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting getting over this hump that you know, that we're facing right now. You know, it's going to be really
Yeah.
difficult, but it's just because I think we had such a, I think we had a lot of technology hit us too fast. I think we've had a lot of high technology kind of hit us a little bit faster than we can really absorb it, especially with information. You know, with the phone, like the smartphone, just like changed everything.
I know.
So
It's Yeah, it's good and everything, but it's just the impact of it. It affects other things. It's like Amazon, what it's done to other businesses, and those changes. We're all guilty of it because we all take part in it. But
yeah,
it's just, I don't know. In a way, it's got to happen, I guess, to change to see what's going to happen, and it'll come back around, just like fads always do. So, I mean, maybe Hollywood has to kind of disappear a little bit in order to come back one day or something. I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
I don't see the world getting any. I don't see how much faster we could even get at this point.
yeah,
So it's got to slow down at some point.
yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't want to make this into too much of a political discussion. I tend to go that direction sometime, and I try to keep it out of this as much as we can
well,
myself. But I appreciate it. No, I appreciate you talking about it. I'm not.
yeah,
I'm glad you do like to talk about it some. But I mean, there's nothing more than I'd like to talk about it. But it turns some people off, sometimes.
yeah,
So
I know. But we're talking about like in '96 how it was, and now it's
yeah,
like different now and
yeah,
stuff. So
yeah,
it's kind of like how we
yeah,
access those movies then is
yeah,
different now and stuff. So
yeah.
it's wondering. It's like, how do you feel about that? It's like, how do you feel when you watch those movies? So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's growing pains, I guess. We're having growing pains.
Yeah, if any kid ever asked me what it was like, being in the '90s, I would just say it was quiet. It was quiet,
Stuff happened, but
quieter. It was quieter.
yeah,
Yeah, it just everything. I don't know if the area where you're living in's kind of got a lot bigger and a lot more crowded. That's how it is where I'm at. It's just in the past probably 12 years or so, it's just been just an explosion of people. It's
mhm,
just our
yeah,
the Highway 52, which is at the end of our driveway here. It it's like an interstate all day
mhm,
long. It's just
yeah. No, I think it's everywhere, man. Because that's my
yeah,
little town has grown up too,
you
and
know,
they want to try to. My town, they're trying to hold on to their old days and the old simpleness, but they want to grow at the same time. So it's this weird. You watch the
yeah,
town just get so big, and then you just, I don't know.
yeah.
Anyway, back to the movies.
I kind of I missed those days of going to the movie theater because I used to just go to the movie theater all the time by myself most of the time, just because I like going to see movies all the time. So as soon as I got my license, I pretty much went to the theater about every weekend, at least
Yeah,
once, maybe
yeah,
twice.
yeah. As soon as
It
I could
was
drop out of town to go to the bigger theater, back then we didn't have a big theater here.
yeah,
But to go to say Louisville, where they had
hmm
indie movies and different kinds of stuff they would show. So
yeah,
yeah, I couldn't wait when we got out there.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the second one, I mean, it has a lot of the spirit though of the first one. I think. I
yeah,
mean, it's I was expecting it to be something. Wasn't for sure, but I didn't think it would be like the first one. But it still
yeah,
had that real good spirit about it.
yeah.
It
It,
surprised me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's just the whole world is interesting because you got this basically more advanced society because of the alien technology, and we've advanced extremely quickly for a race, the kind of by gaining that technology.
Mhm.
But I guess it's that's the reward you get for, I guess, decimating some you know you did decimating, I guess, and not really just a small army from from the the aliens. So
Mhm.
it's a
Yeah.
but yeah, I love the. Sorry, I got off topic there. It's a I got a I just I just kind of like the storyline and everything, what's going on, and
Mhm.
the CG's pretty good for the movie, and so I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, what I thought, I mean, I often think about the universe and how big it is and stuff. And, there's some people that believe in aliens and some people don't. I'm kind
Yeah,
of in the middle, but there has to be something out there, So what
yeah,
if one day that happens,
yeah,
this
yeah,
other civilization comes to just suck our planet dry and move on to the next one, and stuff.
yeah,
They're so much more advanced than we are.
yeah,
And blow our minds, and stuff. So I don't know, man. I mean, that's the good thing about science fiction. It's always, and that's the other thing about it. It's a really good traditional science fiction movie in a way, because that's kind of almost the spirit of the 1950s with
yeah,
this unknown thing come here, and, and it still seems logic like it could happen. It could happen. It's like makes you think. And, it's kind of
yeah.
frightening in a way and stuff. But but yeah, man, I was pretty impressed with it. Um, and then we talked about Will Smith. I mean, see, I was thinking the guy that was there, that was his son
Mm-hmm.
growing up, but it wasn't. It ended up not being him, right?
Mm,
Will Smith's stepson, I guess, from the first
yeah,
movie.
yeah, yeah. It's was it the same actor that played the kid in the? Was it the same? Was that
I
him?
would, yeah, I'm wanting to think it was, but I'm not 100
I'll
percent.
I'll bring it up on IMDb and we'll check it out.
But the one
I
thing is, man, they never did really say what happened to Will Smith, though, did they? Like from the first one, because you had some of the other, actors come back in their roles, and it's like nobody really. It's pretty much like they wrote him off completely, like he never existed or something.
which character was that you were talking about? Sorry.
Oh, the Will Smith character, and then in the new one, the one of the younger guys that were the pilot. I was thinking that was Will Smith's stepson grown up, Vivica Fox's son from the first one.
Uh, yeah, that's him, isn't it?
I believe so. Yeah, that part
Yeah,
kind of came and
yeah.
it jumped into the story, and it didn't really like. Wait a minute, who is this guy for a second? Kind of went by kind of fast. Um,
Jesse T. Usher. Let me see if he's in the first movie.
Because yeah, it starts, man, and it gets right into it, and you don't really think for a minute. Because I didn't even think until the end of the movie. It's like, hey, what happened to Will Smith here? It's like they never did really say like what happened to him. It just didn't. Because if you're going to bring back
Yeah,
characters from the first one, it's like what's going on with him?
I don't see his. I don't see him over here
Yeah.
on the
So maybe they
early.
really
So I
did
don't
just
know.
write him completely out of the storyline.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. Yeah, I don't think he was. I don't think he. I think he was ever part of that. That version at all. I don't
Yeah.
believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say there was a version. I don't know how it would have played into the movie though. I have no idea. Could have been like a father-son kind of relationship that's been estranged or something, and probably been
Mhm.
something like that where the son is, um, he's like kind of estranged from his father or something, or
Yeah,
stepfather, and
yeah. Well, he could have been maybe a higher ranking
yeah,
person, maybe
yeah,
not exactly a fighter pilot, but I don't know.
yeah. He could have been like isn't there like a grand admiral or something like that? That's kind of part of the storyline in there. He could have been like that character, and
Yeah,
they
yeah. Anyways,
it,
Pullman is the president, man. He was a great
yeah,
president. I mean, it's like
yeah,
that's who we need as a president.
yeah.
I mean, he even
Uh,
sacrifices himself at in the second one to save the world. Basically, it's pretty cool.
well, I like. It's kind of funny how like when Clinton would have been in office, but like whenever he's kind of based on George Bush though, like a little bit of his character, or at least his background character, not his like the actual character. But because like they say they have that little TV segment where it says, "Oh, he was a former combat pilot, and he's considered a wimp," and that's George Bush was a World War II combat fighter,
Mm-hmm.
and they called him a wimp, and he was called a wimp president.
Yeah,
So I thought that was kind of funny at the
yeah,
time.
yeah. So he had to kind of rise to the occasion and stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. He would probably, I don't know if he's my favorite character out of the whole movie, just because he really grew. He started out like you made me think, in some other movies he might just stay the same the whole movie and stuff. But he really grew. His character really went from this to this. And you didn't really expect it. You know, but,
yeah,
but yeah, he was really good in it. Um,
yeah, uh, yeah. I always enjoy Jeff Goldblum as well.
oh yeah, 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 yeah.
He's Jeff Goldblum's character is a David Levinson is his character name, but he's basically we find out at the beginning of the movie he's like he's some kind of broadcast engineer for a television company. Basically, he's like a signal analyzer. He's specialty type something like this, and he's he's kind of neurotic. He's like big into saving the environment, so he seemed like throwing recycling stuff and getting on to people for not recycling. So he's like, they set him up to be that type of character, and his character
Yeah.
becomes more dynamic and more dynamic as the movie goes along. So,
Mhm.
so I always enjoy Goldblum because he
Well,
can kind of play that. I don't know what you kind of geek type
kind of
character as well.
kind of a nerdy
Yeah,
guy.
yeah,
But it's a good thing his what was his ex-wife was in with the president though, because if that would have never happened, man,
yeah,
it never
yeah,
would have saved the world. But
yeah.
that was cool.
But we got Judd Hirsch as well, and if
Yeah.
anybody's familiar with Judd Hirsch, he was on Taxi. He was the star of Taxi,
Mhm.
basically his character.
Yeah.
But he's like the over in the first movie. He's like kind of and in the second movie as well. He's like that typical New York. Well, not typical. I don't know. I'm not gonna say typical because I don't know a lot of Jewish people around here. There's not a lot of Jewish people here, so I don't know him. But he's like kind of almost like the in between like a normal Jewish person and like kind of the Hasidic Jew. He's like he
Yeah.
uses a lot of Yiddish in his when he talks. He uses a lot of Yiddish, and so he's like kind of
Mhm.
a little bit of over the top Jewish character in a way. So he's
Yeah.
pretty funny, but it's
It's almost Hollywood being
yeah,
kind of stereotypical again, kind of like we talked about um,
yeah,
National Lampoon's Vacation. It's just one of those little things. Like it's not
yeah,
offensive, but maybe somebody will find it. Of course, somebody will find it offensive. but
Yeah.
then it's just, he's a character, a type.
Yeah.
With Hollywood screenwriters, there's probably 100 types that they use, in their story, and stuff. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what he was, just a type. But yeah, exactly.
Well,
What, yeah,
because of his age as well, and that his age is, I think it puts him more in that. I think that where I think people are a little more devout. I think that's why you see the kind of a generational leap between Jeff Goldblum and him. He's like Jeff Goldblum is kind of a more modern Jewish person than he's kind of represents like more the older ways.
yeah.
The older generation.
Well, and I also thought that maybe Jeff Goldblum, maybe his mom passed away when he was young, and his dad's kind of had to be mom and dad and stuff. So he like
Yeah.
he's really, really caring, really looking after his son. He's very
Yeah.
critical of him and stuff, and he means well, but you can tell he gets
Yeah.
on his nerves, Jeff Goldblum's nerves. But I think he's both trying to be
You
both.
do have the scene. Did you watch the extended cut?
Yeah.
It has like both versions. Yeah, the special edition cut or whatever it was, and I don't know if this scene's. I can't remember if it's because the last couple of times I've watched the 4K, I've watched the special edition, so I can't remember if the theatrical cut was if it was in there or not. But there's a scene where
It is
like where Judd Hirsch is driving and they go to and they're going to Washington, and he comes upon like this group of ambulances and police cars and stuff coming the wrong direction going into, and then he has to dodge all these cars, and then he dodges off onto an off ramp, and Jeff Goldblum said, "That's really great driving, Dad."
yeah.
And
Yeah, I did watch the extended one. There's both of them on there, and I went ahead and picked that one.
yeah, I can't remember if that scene is in the theatrical cut or not. I can't remember if it is
I
or
think
not.
it might be the extended.
You would think it would be, but I don't know. There's a couple of scenes thrown in there. It's nothing really major, but it's just some. There's a little bit more story development with the little kid brother of Lucas, or not Lucas. Sorry, but the Randy Quaid's family.
Oh yeah.
Or I said Randy Quaid, Dennis Quaid. Or no, Randy Quaid's correct.
No, yeah.
I've got them backwards in my head. Yeah, Randy Quaid, his family, like the little his son, his actual son, the youngest kid. He there's a little more development. You kind of understand. He's got some kind of. It wasn't really anything special, but you kind of find out more about his sickness. And there's a couple of cut scenes in there, like when they get to the base. There's a cut scene where he's like. Randy Quaid gets up in the face of a doctor and says, "You need to help my son. He's got whatever problems." So that's kind of a that's the biggest stuff that's cut out to me, that sticks out to me. Then just a few scenes are extended as well.
Yeah, that whole part, that family, Randy Quaid's family, kind of reminded me of the family on Mars Attacks.
Yes.
For some reason,
Yes.
it might even be the same young guy. It seemed like that same guy. Oh no, wait a minute, that was a different guy. But he kind of reminded me because he had long hair and I don't know. It was very, very similar for some reason. So I wonder if Mars Attacks took that from that because it came after. So I don't. It's very similar to it.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah. He may like that kind of that family. Because they kind of seem like they come from the same part of the country as well, like kind of the Southwest or something. It feels like they're in the Southwest. Well, do they ever say where he's at? I don't know if they even know where he's at. He's just out in Nevada or something, somewhere
out there. Yeah, they were in an RV, and then on the other movie they were attached to a mobile home, I think. But, But yeah. Somewhere out there, yeah, they were close by to where all the action was.
Yeah.
in New Mexico, I guess, Roswell, somewhere in that
Yeah.
area. Because they weren't very
Yeah.
far from that.
Well, I'm
But
just
anyway,
it's getting a little deep when we start talking, theoretical low, where would they be at? Because you that's one of those leap of faith kind of things. You just kind of got to take the leap of faith and kind of think,
mhm,
well, don't worry where he's from. But the reason why I say that is because you see the scene where they're out driving in the desert going to Area 51, and so wherever they came from was not far from there, just logistically or in just as far as the um, continuity of the movie's
mhm,
standpoint. So I don't know. You can get kind of nerdy about that stuff. I
yeah.
do.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like if it was almost in real time ish, because they were all racing against the clock,
Yeah,
it would seem like they weren't too far from where all the action was. So,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah. I think it, yeah, it doesn't really matter, but it's just
yeah,
but I enjoyed Randy Quaid in this movie a lot at the time. He's just plays that character so well. I mean, it's not too that character wasn't too far off the cousin Eddie, really.
uh,
Just so,
yeah,
but
it's
he
in the
plays
same
a lot of
neighborhood.
characters.
Yeah, yeah, he's good at that character,
Yeah,
or a version of that character. You know,
yeah, yeah.
but,
He I guess he had. I bet I wouldn't doubt if they could have had a part for him in that movie if he hadn't already went off the cuckoo train. I think he had already by the time this movie went into productions, whenever he started
mhm,
his kind of craziness.
yeah, yeah, I'm sure they could have brought him back somehow for
Yeah,
sure because he's very memorable and everything.
yeah.
Who
But
knows? Maybe in that other script, man, with Will Smith in it, he was in it. And they just
yeah.
wrote them both off. Who knows?
Well, the reason why I guess to get at a point, the reason why I brought up Will Smith is because this movie. The reason why I thought it's kind of shitty he didn't do it because I remember around when the movie came out. I remember them talking about him definitely turning it down, and I was just like, man, that's really really crappy. Even if you had to take a pay cut or something to do the
Mhm.
movie. I mean, that's the movie, and this was Roland Emmerich as well. He directed the second one, correct?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, he basically made you a star with that movie. I mean, you already technically was a star but he reached another level after Independence Day of stardom, and
well,
you
and at
know,
the time, in
yeah,
2016, like, what was Will Smith doing? He wasn't exactly riding high at the box office, I don't think. I don't think he had had a big movie for a while.
yeah,
So it would have made sense for him to do that at that
yeah,
time, to do the big hit movie.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I just think it was kind of disrespectful not going, kind of going back to your your what made you big and back to that director. Unless he just had a problem with the director and didn't want to work with him again. It's possible that there could be some personal tensions, but I
yeah, I
mean,
mean, it could be certain things that have happened from like when he was younger, maybe like now he's like, well, I'm not going to put up with what I did then because I was younger and stuff. And it's like, they're either going to give this to me now or I'm not going to do it or something. Maybe it was it's probably just some contractual disagreement or something. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's just,
yeah,
but yeah, when I think of that first movie, I think of Will Smith. You know, I think of him first, go with that movie and stuff. So it
yeah,
would have made all the sense to come back to that.
yeah. But I think I sent. I think I was talking to you in a text one day about how uh, the the movie that the sequel or the third movie in the series that they set up. They obviously set a movie up at the end of this movie. I would really like to see that movie. I would really like to see, you know, that society go out into space and, you know, go head to head with this alien race, you know, go to their
Yeah.
home planet with this basically newfound technology or newfound, you know, race that's willing to help, you know,
Mhm.
advanced technology and things like that. And
Yeah, I think they
it,
could do it because we got the technology now to
yeah,
the CGI to do that to the next level, and stuff. So I guess it's a matter of money. You know, if they'll put
yeah.
up the money to do that. You know, um, but
I,
yeah,
I,
they did leave it off like that, where they're going to take
yeah.
them, fly them. You know, they're going to go through them now. And take them out.
I'm trying to think of I've got it over here, and I can't think of the name of it. The latest Roland Emmerich movie that come out, Moonfall. Excuse me, Moonfall. But Moonfall is like it's kind of the same movie. You know, it's like a disaster movie and like a alien movie rolled into one, and
Mhm.
it's it's kind of fun. I kind of enjoyed that. I don't know if you've seen that or not.
I
Yeah,
haven't seen it yet. No.
yeah. It's got some, you know, kind of ID4 undertones, but not. It's not definitely not like a sequel or nothing like that, or you know, a third movie by far. But
Mhm.
like when you kind of get to the alien race and you kind of find out what they, you know, I won't ruin the movie for you, but you should see it. I mean, but it's got a kind of you know silly things that happen a little bit like Armageddon anything the way they you know have to get into space, you know, it's some of that's kind of goofy, but
Mhm.
so it's still kind of a fun movie, especially it's a good callback to the disaster, and especially the disaster sci-fi. I think that's what he liked. I think he liked sci-fi movies. And
Mhm.
what else would have inspired a director that kind of goes that route other than sci-fi? What movies came out? What kind of natural movies or disaster type movies that came out through the '60s and '50s and '60s and '70s? Can you think of
Well,
other than
honestly,
Earthquake?
yeah, I think of all those early to mid '70s disaster movies like
Yeah,
The Silent Adventure,
no,
uh, Towering Inferno, uh,
yeah,
Roller Coaster, and some of those. Yeah, 'cause he's definitely a disaster director. I think he's really
yeah,
good at it. You know,
yeah,
and I mean, he is. I mean, he's probably the best one, and he can do both. Like you said, like science fiction and that, and he's really good at it. You know, um,
yeah,
but I don't think they should wait 20 more years though for the next installment of this series because everybody will be too old
yeah,
to be believed. You know, so maybe I'm hoping they'll do it. Yeah,
yeah.
I would at this point want to see it. Yeah, a third one.
I think if Roland Emmerich did it, I think it would probably be all right because I didn't find anything very weird with his scripts or nothing for Moonfall. So
Mm.
I think if he did it, I think it would probably be all right. But I don't want to see it, you know. Well, I mean, you know, in not too many years, you know, he'll probably retire. You know, probably not be directing anymore, or for one
Yeah,
way or another. But you know, I just hate to see it passed on, or you know, him pass on it, you know, and it get made by you know some idiots that
well, I mean, what could happen is a reboot of the whole thing, and they won't even do a three, and just reboot it from the beginning or
yeah,
something. That's kind of it's like they don't even make trilogies anymore all the time anymore. They just, we'll just completely reboot it,
yeah, yeah. Hopefully not, but
Yeah,
you know, you never know with Hollywood
yeah.
because they well, I mean, they haven't remade too many things, but some of the things that they've done remakes on are movies that do not need to be remade. Red Dawn is one,
Mhm.
and Straw Dogs is another one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Straw Dogs is what the hell? That's freaking Peckinpah. Do you they have no? freaking respect. Why? That
Yeah.
movie is freaking great. The
Yeah.
original is great. Like,
Yeah,
that's like,
I didn't even want to see the remake. I just didn't even watch it.
yeah, I haven't seen it either. Yeah, I was like, why watch that when you can watch the real thing? You know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and to remake that now, it would be, I don't know, if it would have the same impact as
Yeah,
that. I don't know the way that movie was made. I mean, yeah, it's controversial, but the way they made it, I, it's kind of like it has its moment in time and stuff, and to remake it now, it may just seem like some other movie. Like it's just
yeah.
a people being terrorized. We've seen that a bunch of times in other movies. So I mean, yeah, exactly. It's like it didn't need to be remade. Not in name,
No.
and not in name. They could have been named in rename something, but yeah, I don't know, man. They just don't. I don't get it. I know they don't reboot everything, and remake everything, but
Yeah.
like you said, the stuff that they do, it's just TV shows and turn into movies.
Yeah.
And it seems like every time they make a video game into a movie, it's never very good. You know,
Yeah.
there's been very few of those that's been really good.
The, the only, probably the best one is probably the James Bond games for, I think they first originally came out on N64, but, or, I might be wrong about that. Yeah, I think N64 or the one of those. So
Yeah.
that was probably the most successful video game franchise.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you should. Yeah, if you like that kind of stuff, you should. Have you ever watched the Angry Video Game Nerd?
No, I don't think so. No.
You ought to check him out. He's like kind of a godfather of YouTube. He was been there since pretty much the very beginning, and he yeah, he's got a character. The guy that does it has a character called the Angry Video Game Nerd. It's him just ranting and raving about NES, just old video games. Period. But it's mainly started out. It's just mostly NES games, and he would go and play like these, where they just mass produce NES when it got popular. They just mass produced, and there's a lot of companies that just made crappy games, and amongst all the legendary games, there's so many crappy ones, and he reviews all that stuff,
Yeah.
and he's a pretty good movie reviewer too. He does movie reviews and stuff. He's branched off. He used to have a fake video store set up, and they used to set, like with VHS tapes and stuff. And he had like a
Oh,
whole
yeah.
crew. He had a whole crew of guys that he would talk to. But when COVID hit, they like broke up, and like they quit doing those. Kind of, but they used to sit around and talk about old movies or VHS copies of movies, and it was a pretty
Yeah.
interesting discussion.
I think there's a YouTuber like that. Is it Cinemassacre?
Is
That's
it
like
what?
that.
Yeah, Cinemassacre. That's him.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. He's pretty cool actually.
yeah.
Yeah. He's got a lot of videos. He's been there for a long time and stuff. And
Yeah.
he makes really good videos too.
Yeah, he went to film school or something like that, I believe, and he just started making his own films. There's a movie, there's an AVGN movie, but I've never went to buy, I've never tried to buy it. I actually have the Blu-ray set of AVGN back here, so
Hmm.
that came out. He's still making seasons, but I think it's like the first 10 seasons or something like that. I'll grab it here in a minute.
Yeah.
Sorry I got
Yeah.
off on that tangent, but yeah,
Yeah. He's
that's
pretty
fun.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was playing a video game with one of his little kids or something. It was like a Mario Maker where he designed uh, the whole board like a it's Super Mario Maker or something. And he's got like a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, and what he did was he tried to play the ones that the little kid designed, and it was like impossible to get through. The way he it was hilarious.
Yeah. That's a game. Some of those games, I don't know about you. I'm not a big gamer. I like the classic stuff, and I like the old, getting the new side scroll stuff that comes out on the new Nintendo system every now and then, and I'll
Mm,
play it, but it I don't have any interest in just playing it every day, all day long. I'll play it a little bit,
yeah,
maybe beat the game, or play it through enough, and the
yeah,
only games that ever you know made me want to play over and over and over again was the SSX games, which are like on Xbox and PlayStation originally, but they're like these snowboarding. It's like kind of unrealistic gravity snowboarding game where you can do these like massive tricks. I don't know. It's just kind of addictive. That's the only game I've ever been
yeah.
addicted to like that.
Yeah, I guess I'm like you. I've just never been into gaming. Like I'll play something for a little bit and then just kind of I don't know if I lose attention with it or something maybe or something, or I move on to something else. But it's weird. I can watch like a 3 hour movie, but can't play a video game for like an hour or something. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I just never that addiction never bit me. I've had obviously watching movies, but I still don't really consider watching movies addiction like people watch playing video games the way some people do. I
Yeah,
just don't. You know,
yeah, yeah.
I
It's
guess it's just. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say it's kind of like sitting down and listening to a record. You got to kind of make that commitment to actually sit down and
Yeah,
listen to. It's not like on the go and stuff. So you kind of make that
yeah,
commitment to watch something, and you kind of stick
yeah,
through it, and stuff. So I don't know. It's more invested, I guess. I mean,
yeah. I just I lost my train of thought there. I'm sorry.
well, well. Also, as I've gotten older, it's like I always think of my time all the time. So well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to watch this, and I'm gonna do this later or something. As you become an adult,
Yeah,
and, you got all kinds of stuff you got to do every day. And
yeah.
stuff. But there's still adults that sit and play games all day too. So I don't know.
Oh well, I've got a couple examples of where I've heard this. The first time it was at work. Well, the one of my he was like a boss. He wasn't my boss, but he was a friend of mine. And his daughter was married to this guy who I don't know if he was in the military or what, but that don't matter. But he was this kind of he was like a big video gamer, I guess. But he told me once. He told me something about talking about how he was a gamer. Calling himself a game. I'm a gamer. And it's like, and this guy has a couple of kids and a wife. And it's like, fairly attractive wife too. And
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not
like
saying you can't do
yeah,
both, but
yeah,
I don't know. I guess I don't know. I guess I don't know. I just personally, I guess I can't sit, for 6 hours and play a video game. Somebody else may be able to do that and do other things. But with me,
yeah,
I guess, I've never been that way. So it's
yeah.
just me. It's just me.
But I'm not perfect. I'm not saying that it's anything wrong with people playing video games.
Oh,
I'd rather probably talk to somebody playing video games and doing other thing. I
yeah.
mean, stuff like that. But
Yeah.
anyways, but
It's different, man, but I don't know. I guess we
yeah,
watch movies, so it's about the same. So, I don't know.
yeah, yeah. This girl I used to date, she would stay over here. She had her Xbox here, and she would play like all night long. Playing. It's like that. So I mean, girls get into it as well. So,
Yeah.
and I was just like, she played those online games, and I'm just like, I just don't really have much interest. Some of them look cool, but I wouldn't want to play them for an extended amount of time. I just think that the new games aren't. I tell you. I'm sorry we went off of the video game tangent, but I'll tell you something very interesting that happened to me with video games and why I don't really like the warfare games and things like that, like Call of Duty and those type of things.
Mm.
Because so back in 2012, I bought a Wii U when it came out. We had the Wii's, and then they came out with that Wii U that wasn't very successful,
Mm.
but was actually a really good console.
Oh, yeah.
People
Yeah.
just missed out on that console. Well, the Wii U offered other than just Nintendo games. It was the first console that was gonna, bring back like people like EA Sports and things like that, and I forget what you call it. It would bring back
Oh,
games to your platform.
like
Yeah,
Wii Sports.
the Wii U. No, that they was going to bring back but they just brought back third party games to the
Mm.
Nintendo. Excuse me, I got a
Oh,
brain fart there. But they would bring back third party games to just be a Nintendo. So they brought back like they had Call of Duty. So I'd never had played a Call of Duty game before, and so I get Call of Duty and I you know I and also I got it was called Zombie on the Xbox, but
mhm.
they ported it over to the Wii U and called it Wii uh is Zombie U. It was called Zombie
Oh,
U
yeah.
on the
Yeah.
and so I've been playing Zombie U and I got pretty far in that game. I actually got to the part I got to a part of the game and the game like screwed up. I beat a certain level on a game and it like screwed the whole game up. It like locked it up and like everything was messed up. So
Hmm.
I couldn't play it any further. So it was like really close to the end. So so I had played that game for a while. The game's kind of creepy. I don't know if you've played it before, but it's kind of a creepy game. It takes place in the dark and they send you to some there's like a really creepy level where they you go into like a it was like a children's sanatorium or something like that. You got to go in this place. I think it's a place where and like these like ghosts and stuff come out in the basement. It's like really creepy and it's like pitch black through the whole place and it's
Mm.
pretty intense. But so I played this game and it didn't affect me sleeping or anything like that. Had normal dreams. So I get that Call of Duty game and I play it for I play it off and on for a couple of days and it has like simulated like you control a drone and you direct the troop movement with the drone and then the rest of it's just kind of you just just action game where you're fighting and shooting and stuff like that.
Mm.
Well, after I played this game, I started having like nightmares. I had like nightmares after playing that game. So I just think there's something weird psychologically going on with some of these games.
Yeah, oh, yeah. There's some real, really way out there stuff, man. I mean, yeah,
Give me
yeah,
just a
'cause-
second. No, you can go ahead. I'm just
yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, we had the Wii U's. The kids, my boys had the Wii U, and I thought it was a really cool game. And they had the zombie one. It came with like you bought it. It came with it, I believe. It was one
yeah,
of the came with it and stuff. And but I mean, years later, they've moved up to like Xbox, and there's some like really far out, gory like stuff on there that's like, man, this is kind of like we wouldn't even let the kids play that stuff when they were younger because it was really pushing the limits and stuff. I mean, it's
yeah,
like, but yeah, I mean, it's I don't know,
yeah. I understand. Sorry, I'm
but there's a whole audience of horror fans and stuff, which is cool and stuff. Which I'm a fan of horror movies and stuff, but not like huge. And stuff. So there's a huge audience for, gore and stuff, which is, that's cool if you're into that. But
yeah, yeah. A lot of people are into it. I don't condemn it. I just it's a bug that I haven't caught yet and I probably won't. I've never been a massive horror fan either, but it's just I know there's people very passionate about it, and I don't condemn them for it. People, we have a passion for other things, westerns and
Hmm. Yeah,
older movies, film noir and things like that, so there's some
yeah,
people that completely hate that stuff, There's a lot of people that hate older movies, but don't
yeah,
hate them, but they just refuse to watch them really.
yeah. I mean, I like, if you see a Peckinpah movie like The Wild Bunch, everybody's getting shot up and stuff, which is cool. Like to that level and stuff, and but I don't know, some of the stuff that's going way beyond, it's kind of like, that's
Yeah.
all right, but I don't know. It's not
Yeah.
my cup of tea.
Yeah. You want to have you picked up much here lately? I kind of broke my vow not to buy much during, so I bought a few things. I haven't bought a
Um,
lot of things, but
I haven't bought a lot of stuff. I've got a couple of things, but I did actually pick up some laser discs here lately. I picked up two. I don't know if I've shown these yet. I don't think I have, but I got Grand Prix, the James Gardner movie.
yeah, I have that one as well.
Yeah,
That's a
John.
good, yeah,
It's kind of like Steve McQueen movie, the Le Mans. It's kind of like that,
yeah.
kind of racing and stuff. And then I just got two. Then I got Arthur, the older edition of Arthur.
That's I think it revolves it revolves around Formula One.
Yeah, yeah,
So
Formula.
yeah, so it's pretty
Pretty cool.
that's a cool movie. I like finding good race movies like that,
Mhm.
especially that era. That era of Formula One was like a very deadly era. Whenever they
Yeah,
started running, yeah, it is.
dangerous sport back
Yeah,
then.
yeah,
For a lot of safety what do you call it? Implementation of all the safety rules and stuff. So it was very dangerous and stuff.
yeah.
I haven't put it in and watched it yet. Like I was going to get like the Blu-ray of it, and I can't find one that's like decent. Like the only one I keep
Mm,
finding is like a UK edition or something, or another
yeah,
maybe a Spanish edition. It's really kind of expensive, so
yeah,
I just went to Laserdisc, which is just fine. So,
yeah, yeah. It seems like that's a good print of that as well. It's
yeah,
widescreen and everything, so not
yeah,
too bad. No, I've got a few things. You've probably seen everything that I posted, but
yeah.
I went and seen the Minions movie this past week, the Rise of Gru, and I really liked it. Thought it was kind of funny for a kids movie, but
Oh yeah.
uh, so I picked up so I I've never seen Despicable Me or the other movies before seeing this,
Mhm.
and so I decided to pick up the 3 movie collection.
Oh, okay.
This this actually came This came with a like a battery powered lamp, like of one of the Minions. But
Oh
I'm
wow,
not. I don't have it in here, but I may
that's
find a
cool.
kid to give it to or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Those are the only ones I've seen. We when those came out, of course, the kids were into it then and
yeah,
stuff, and we went and saw all those. But I haven't seen the ones after those. The different,
yeah,
the other variants of it.
yeah, yeah. This has Despicable Me 2, and it's also got the Minions movie, the first Minions movie, and this newest Minion movie is kind of like a prequel, I guess. It's like the origin story of Gru. So,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
it's a it's a pretty it's a I'm kind of looking forward to watching these because I'm interested to see, because these are not Disney movies. These are, I think it's
Were they,
imaginative.
were they
I think it's a,
DreamWorks or
yeah,
Illumination or something?
Illumination. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and so you don't necessarily get any, like, you don't get any politics in the movie from what you get from
Yeah.
Disney movies right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking about doing maybe some animated videos in the future, like some of those, because
Yeah.
I guess when my son was little, like we would go see all the, How to Train Your Dragon and
Yeah.
all the really good ones with DreamWorks and stuff like mid 2000s,
Yeah.
2010s, stuff like that. They were a good run of movies back then. Out of some of
Yeah.
those, so I thought about maybe covering them or something.
But I don't know a lot about this movie, but you may have seen it. But I got that Canyon Passage.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's just I don't think I've seen it. It could be
I,
one I watched on Laser, but I don't know.
I think I have that on one of those like 10 movie sets where it has like 10 movies and stuff, and that's on there. And I really like that movie. It's actually really good.
Yeah.
It's cool Technicolor.
Yeah. It's Kino. It's a Kino as well. So
Oh yeah, okay,
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
and I picked this up. This was some of this stuff. It just pops up every now and then, and I'm like, I can't resist that, even though I paid too much money for it. But that Conquest for Space looks really good. I've never seen it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Imprint can be kind of
Yeah.
hot and stuff. So I don't know. I put in your comments on that one. I picked up Drugstore Cowboy, the Imprint edition of that.
Yeah, I need to get that. I don't think I have a copy of that on Blu-ray. I've never. Is that the only way you can get it on Blu-ray? Is import
Um,
pretty much?
yeah, I think there's that and like a Spanish version or something. I had a
Okay.
really old DVD of it from like it's at least 20 years old, so
Yeah,
I upgraded it to. Plus, it's got some new stuff on it, new supplements and stuff, which are pretty cool.
that's cool. I enjoy Gus Van Sant movies.
Mhm.
I don't.
I always like that one. That's
Yeah.
really good. I think it was like his second movie, third movie.
Did you recommend this to me? I'm trying to think who recommended this to me.
Yeah,
No.
I think we were. Yeah, I think that might have been me. I was talking
Yeah.
about that maybe doing it as a summer movie.
Oh yes, yes, yeah. So I'll watch it and we'll do it next week if you want to
Okay, yeah, that's the same
because
edition I got. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, we can do it next week's your choice anyway. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I thought it'd be kind of cool since
we can.
baseball. Summer is a good
They
baseball
do.
time and stuff. So
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, that sounds like I can't believe I haven't seen it because the story seems very interesting.
yeah, I think it's about the was it the White Sox or the Black Sox?
Let's see here.
Can't remember, but it was a famous scandal
Yeah,
back then. But
yeah. But I also picked up. I think these are actually. I don't know if these. But it's just a couple older movies that sounded interesting. But this is part of that UCLA library,
hmm
and it's Flicker Alley, but UCLA library, and I think UCLA went back and done the restoration work on
yeah,
these movies. And I don't know if these are noir. These might be two film noirs. I think. I think
yeah, I
they
think they're
are.
all. I think they're all noirs. Those are like I've found to be really collective because they go out of print pretty
Hmm.
fast, and I've
Yeah.
tried to go back and get some, and they're just I don't know, man. They're really up there in price. So it's like,
Yeah. 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 That's the last one I got was really good. I can't remember which movie it was, but the last one was a good film noir that they had restored.
yeah,
This is a double feature. Kind of odd.
yeah. They've done quite a few in that series.
The only other thing I've got here, and I'm not going to try to get into it too much, but this show's hilarious. It's another Canadian show that it popped up whenever I was I didn't have some of the Trailer Park Boys, some of their stuff. I didn't have like the last season on DVD, or they have some specials I didn't have. So I picked when I was picking, when I was searching for them, this came up, and it looked really it sounded kind of interesting. So it was like a blind buy on a TV show that I'd never seen before.
Hmm
And this is called Letterkenny.
Hmm.
and it's an odd duck for sure. It's very funny, and I can't. It's basically it's like all these characters right here on the front. They're pretty much the main characters, but it centers around a small town of like 5,000 people in Canada, and it focuses on like what it says is like I guess kind of like the rednecks and the hockey players and
Mm-hmm.
they call whatever their name I can't remember what they call the goths, but it's these kids are like dressed like goth kids
Oh yeah.
and like the kind of the rest of the town and the religious people in the town. So it focuses on these
Huh.
groups, but the main characters are like they're kind of the country guys, but they're like kind of fast talking, fast witted, and it's like very conversational oriented, and they always talk about these craziest subjects, and just the show goes. But then it has different storylines, so it'll be focusing on, and sometimes the storylines intermesh. But it's a very well made TV show,
Hmm.
very
I might have to
funny.
look that up. Well,
Yeah,
the Trailer Park Boys. They used to show it on IFC, the IFC channel back when they
yeah,
showed like in the actual independent movies and stuff before it changed formats or something. But they used to show that uh, long, probably 15, 16 years ago or something like that.
yeah,
And I used to catch it on that channel here and there, and that's about it as far as Trailer Park Boys. But,
yeah, yeah. I never had the first time I ever uh, was introduced to the first time I was introduced to the Trailer Park Boys was I remember going that we used to have a store in Lexington called Disc Replay, and it was a used media store, but they had like video games and they
hmm
had DVDs and Blu-rays for resale. And there was a time period when it was open. I was going in, and there used to be like the first 3 seasons of Trailer Park Boys, and I would keep seeing them there, and I would be like, I'm thinking about buying one of those because it just sounds interesting. I don't know anything about it, but I
hmm
never did buy it. I never did buy any of those. And then probably a year later or something, it came on Netflix, and I started watching it there. I thought, well, I wonder if they. I went back to see if they still had them on DVD, and they didn't. But Walmart released that big set that has seasons 1 through 9 on it.
Oh wow,
It's in one of those bricks,
yeah.
and there's 12 seasons, so there's 3 seasons on individual discs and stuff like that, and they've got
Yeah,
3 movies as well. So there's a lot of Trailer Park Boys stuff.
yeah.
I just like the show. It's just funny to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I never did see that set at my local Walmart and stuff, but
You
they
might
don't
still be
really
able
get
to
much.
find it. You might
Yeah, it's
still be
hard.
able to find it, yeah, if you wanted it.
They do get those. I have seen those big brick ones of some things,
Hmm.
but I haven't seen that yet. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
I was a big fan of those for a while. I really liked. I bought quite a few of them. I've got like the total, Cheers,
Hmm
the entire series, and
I think there's a
I got
Twilight
Taxi,
Zone.
the whole series.
Yeah, and I believe there's a Twilight Zone. All the Twilight originals like that too.
Yeah, I have I have the Twilight Zone. I don't know where it is here. Oh, here it is. Yeah, yeah. That's what mine is. I forgot, but it's the
Okay.
Blu-ray. It's a Blu-ray brick.
Oh, okay. This was a DVD that I saw.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. It is actually kind of different that they did that, but
Yeah.
yeah. See, it's Blu-rays. Kind
Yeah,
of
believe it
weird.
or not, man, that's I watched that original Twilight Zone more on Netflix than anything else on Netflix. Like I'll turn it on late at night and stuff, and I've been watching that for years. I probably watched that out of everything on Netflix more than any, yeah, more than anything.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm trying to look up here and see what I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but it's out of hand's reach. But just a lot of those bricks. I don't know. I'm a big TV collector too. I collect a lot of television as well.
Yeah,
So, especially classic television. I'm
yeah.
kind of bummed. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say if I start collecting television, man, I'll need another house.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I've got a lot that's not on the shelves. I've still got a whole lot of stuff that's not on the shelves with the TV.
Oh,
I've just got the best of my stuff. But,
yeah,
well, not necessarily the best. I've just got a lot more stuff, and it's all over the place. One of these days, I may have the space to finally organize everything, but not right now. I'm not too far from running out of space again and with no place to go.
yeah.
But I was being kind of bummed out because they just released the $6 million Man on Blu-ray, but the set's like $150 on Amazon. If
Mhm.
anybody knows where it's cheaper, let me know. But it's $150. I'm like, I just don't want to drop that much money right now on a TV
Well,
set. And
well, recently, man, I got the Outer Limits. Kino put them out on Blu-ray, and there was
yeah,
Volume 1 and a Volume 2. And I think it was Volume 1 was always way more expensive than Volume 2. Everywhere I would look, it was always more. It's either one or two, one or the other is like way more expensive than the other one for some reason.
hmm
I couldn't figure that out, but it took me a
yeah,
while to get the other one because I didn't want to pay almost double for it. I don't know why they did that. I don't know what the
yeah,
deal was with that. But
yeah. I've done crazy things where like I think I had like the majority of the Seinfeld series. See, I think I had all of them, the original, and I think I still have them, the original cases. The original individual cases. But like, I'm just stupid like this. I like having it all in one
hmm
box. So this I found this that came out, and it's such a great set. It's it's in the hard. It's a hard cardboard case, and it's just like a big. It just flips, and it's just basically got everything that was on the individuals. It's all in that book,
oh well, yeah,
and it's you know I
yeah.
know
That's how.
I double bought, but Seinfeld's one of those. If they'd said tomorrow that we got a Blu-ray set coming out, I'd be the first in line to buy it on Blu-ray.
Oh yeah, that's
So
one of the best shows. There were different releases of that. I thought there was
yeah,
one they released where it was like in a building or something, or an apartment building or something. It was
yeah,
some large format case or
yeah.
something. I can't remember
But
what it was.
there was one that's like the refrigerator or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
But I think you're right. I think they released another. I don't know if it may have been just during in an individual season release, but they had like the whole. I think the whole apartment set you could get one of them with. I believe it may
Yeah.
have been with the complete series. It might have been a different version with the complete series, but I think they did have something like you're talking about.
Well, no, they. I did see some Lego sets like that. They did
Yeah,
Friends and they did Seinfeld, where they had like two rooms
yeah,
I think Jerry's apartment, and it
yeah,
had like two pieces, and they would have some television like lights or a camera over here. That was pretty cool.
yeah,
I've seen those.
yeah.
I've seen those at Target. So
Yeah. The have you did you ever watch Curb Your Enthusiasm? Minnie?
I never did. I never did get on there.
Oh man, if you like Seinfeld,
Yeah.
that's
Sorry, my dog.
it's just straight Larry David though. I mean, you get Larry David's humor,
Yeah.
and it's basically the show's just basically him getting in situations where he ends up having to be an asshole. He doesn't want to be an asshole, but he gets put in situations where he just becomes like an asshole. So he's always just pissing people off.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you really need to check Curb Your Enthusiasm out. It's a
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
show.
That's what I've always heard about it. I just never
Yeah,
did.
yeah. I think it's not become Larry David's for he's a certain political persuasion for the most part, being where he is, and you know but it doesn't get too awful bad. Like he kind of projects that he kind of projects it off onto the character that plays his wife in the TV show,
Hmm.
and she gets kind of the uber liberal part because I think she is in real life. I think if it's the right person, I think the girl that plays it's Cheryl Hines. Cheryl Hines is the actress, but she plays Cheryl David in the TV show. But I think she's married to Robert Kennedy Jr.
Hmm.
So that's a weird household because Robert Kennedy Jr., even though he is a Democrat, he he's been very outspoken and actually wrote a book called the real Dr. Fauci. It's called the real Anthony. It's called the real Anthony Fauci, and it's
Oh yeah.
basically a tell-all about the craziness behind Dr. Fauci, and so he's kind of like got a certain alignment, but he's not so crazy radical Democrat
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
side because he's actually pretty interesting.
Hmm. Yeah.
But she's married to him. But yeah, that shows us that's just a great show. I wish they had. I wish we could do something. I wish we could do shows like this and actually watch along, do like a real watch along where you could have it
Oh,
up here and not get copyright struck, and like have people could watch along with us and. But
well,
I hate
there's
that's what
one.
I hate about copyright law. I mean, I understand why it has to exist, but it's still. I wish there was some kind of format where you could get away with it and still have without.
There's one guy that does that, and they watch a VHS in a VHS player, and the TV's like one of the other people, like how we're doing, and
Yeah,
it's just TV there, and so I don't know if they're watching it. It's not a good picture of what's going on, but they're just kind of talking
yeah.
about it. But you see the
Yeah.
TV there, so I don't know. I guess that gets away somehow with it. So
You can get away to some degree, like when people do reaction videos. You can get away if you don't have so much of the movie. Like I think it's got to be like 10 seconds or less or something like that. When you're doing a video, like as far as live stream, I think it has to the opacity has to be turned down and things like that. I don't know.
it's
It's
weird.
not worth trying to do. It's a pain in the butt, and it would be nice. I've wanted to do that kind of stuff, but
Mhm.
I like Mystery Science Theater and things like that. But there's people out there doing it that does a pretty good job. Even though I don't actually watch reaction videos. I think they're a little silly because most of them are. I've never watched one that I've thought is very good.
I
And
always
it's
think they're
just
kind of fake in a way because it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
listening to this song for the first time. It's kind of like
yeah, yeah.
it's like
Well, and they those channels like blow up though for some reason. There's people that's got crazy followers on in that, and that's people like watching reactions to videos. I guess people like seeing other people's reaction. It's like going to the movie theater. You want to go with a crowd where you can kind of gauge your reaction of people around you. Kind of thing.
yeah,
I think that's kind of the appeal of it.
yeah. But yeah,
Yeah,
they're very popular though. I know that.
yeah. That's about all I got as far as physical media. I've been playing disc golf some, here lately, but
Yeah,
around the house here,
yeah. They
I used.
well, I was gonna say we have a lake close by, and it's around the lake. It's set up to play disc golf and stuff, and it's been like that for probably 25 years. I want to say, and I've
Yeah,
never done it. I've met some people that's played, but
yeah, yeah. I played about 10. I played about 20 years ago when I was younger, and for some reason I quit playing, and then I decided to get back into it here lately and kind of learn to play kind of more correctly. As much as I can at my age. Still
mhm,
going pretty good. Still so
yeah,
I don't really. But I don't know. Kind of running out of material here.
yeah. I didn't really get a lot of stuff this week. I got some stuff pre-ordered and everything. So
Yeah.
I've
Well,
been
yeah.
I've been working on some videos and stuff. So my dogs are barking.
Yeah, I don't know if when I'm going to ever make any videos. I did make something for the Disc a Go Go channel, and I never have. I recorded it and never have uploaded it, so I've been pretty bad about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. You should do some videos.
yeah, no, I don't know. I just maybe in the
And,
fall whenever things start
yeah,
slowing down, around here.
yeah. That's what I'm thinking. There's so much stuff I still need to get done, and I've been really busy too. So
Yeah, yeah. So we've been fooling with everything.
yeah,
We
try to
have some.
juggle
Yeah.
everything. So yeah,
Well, if you got anything else, I mean, we can probably get off a little bit early tonight if you want to, because I'm kind of tired myself.
yeah.
Unless you have anything else you want to talk about, then
No, I think that's about it on the movie. I
yeah,
need to take
absolutely.
the dog out. I don't know if you can
Dogs
hear
are
them.
going crazy, aren't they? Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
I think that's about it with the movie. I
yeah,
think we covered it up pretty good. So
yeah, yeah. I like the new one. It's pretty good. It's not bad. It's fun. It's at least a fun movie. It's not as good as the first movie, obviously, but it's got some interesting things that I enjoy. Just kind of seeing the
mhm.
technology and things like that put into the movie. Things like it was
Yes,
fun.
yeah, I liked it. I mean, it was a lot better than I was expecting.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I liked it.
yeah. That I was going to say earlier. They did kill Vivica A. Fox very quickly. It was kind
They
of
did.
surprising. Like it didn't. So that's what makes me feel like maybe there was a. I mean, we do still have some returning actors, obviously, but I really think there may have been another plot line there to involve other characters, because
Mhm.
I feel like she got killed off very quickly, and I think like maybe there was a different role for her. Maybe if Will Smith, well, there would have been because Will Smith was still been alive, so they basically kind of had to write her out of the picture early on to
Mhm.
you know and I bet there was a different storyline with her as well.
Yeah, it had to be. I think that's what happened. Maybe she
Yeah,
was already signed on, and maybe he backed out. I don't know, and they
yeah,
changed it or something. Because
yeah,
yeah, 'cause that's what I was thinking all the way through it. It's like, where's Will Smith? I mean, you
yeah,
see her, and then she gets killed off real quick, and then
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, everybody, I guess that wraps it up tonight for Independence Day and ID4 Resurgence.
Mhm.
I appreciate you guys, everybody stopped by tonight, and I guess you can find both of us on YouTube, and
Yeah,
I'm still at Low IQ Media. Disc Go Go's not up and going yet. Disc and Go Go is just going to be pretty much just a I think a frisbee golf kind of channel. I'm gonna try to stick to one thing with it. I don't know. If you mix things up, you kind of screw with the algorithm. So, but Mike can be found at Mike's Blu-rays and DVDs and Dag Films on Instagram and YouTube.
hmm
So,
that's me.
thank you everybody for watching, and
Yep.
we'll talk to you next week.